You know, when you walk into a massive, bustling restaurant or like a casino or even a giant retail space, and the background music is just, well, perfect.
Yeah, it never seems too loud when you're trying to order a drink.
Right. But it's never too muffled when you walk across the room either.
I mean, the invisible engineering required to create that seamless audio experience is incredibly complex. You are basically fighting the physics of the room itself.
Well, welcome to today's deep dive. Today, we are unpacking the hidden architecture making that perfect public audio possible. We're specifically looking at the engineering inside commercial heavyweights, like the QSC AcousticDesign 6.5-inch loudspeakers, pulling from some really detailed specs provided by HDTVSupply.
Yeah, because when you look at commercial spaces, the demands placed on a speaker system are just, entirely different from your living room setup.
Totally. I mean, a pair of these QSC AD-S6T speakers goes for about $1,020. And I noticed they boast a 116 decibel peak maximum SPL. That is incredibly loud.
Oh, it is loud, yeah. But raw volume is not actually the goal for a restaurant or a concourse. I
Yep.
mean, if you just blast volume, you end up deafening the people right near the speaker.
Right, while the people in the back still cannot hear the melody at all.
Exactly. So the real challenge in commercial audio is dispersion. And QSC tackles this with a proprietary technology called DMT, which stands for Directivity Matched Transition.
Let us break down how DMT works physically, because it is not just some software trick, right?
Hmm.
You have got the 6.5-inch weather-treated paper cone woofer pushing the low frequencies,
Mm-hmm.
and then the 1-inch silk dome tweeter pushing the highs.
Yeah.
Usually when those two frequency bands meet at the crossover point, the spatial coverage just gets really messy.
Yeah, think about shining a wide floodlight and a really narrow spotlight at the exact same wall. Where those two beams overlap, the light looks, jagged and uneven.
Oh, wow, yeah. Like a fumbled baton pass in a relay race.
That is a great analogy. Traditional speakers do the exact same thing with sound, creating these hot spots where the treble just pierces your ears and then dead zones where the bass gets completely muddy.
Right, so DMT essentially shapes the beam of the tweeter so it perfectly matches the dispersion angle of the woofer.
Exactly. You end up with one massive, seamless, 105-degree conical coverage area.
Which means a listener hears the exact same rich 60 hertz to 20 kilohertz frequency range, whether they're standing dead center or, way off to the side.
The audio profile just does not degrade as you move through the space.
But, I mean, maintaining that precise 105-degree acoustic cone is pretty much impossible if the speaker itself warps from humidity or sags on its mount over time.
Which brings us to the physical forces constantly trying to destroy these things.
Right. Let's talk about that physical engineering. They exceed IP54 ratings for dust and splash resistance, utilizing a sealed 4-pole Euroblock connector.
And achieving an IP54 rating while maintaining high-end acoustic fidelity is like a massive engineering hurdle.
Wait, really? Why is that?
Well, usually sealing a speaker tight enough to keep out moisture completely muffles the acoustics. You are trapping the air that the actual speaker cone needs to move.
Oh, I see.
But QSC manages to weather treat the components and seal the rugged ABS enclosure without choking that frequency response.
That is wild. They also have to solve the scale problem, right? Like in a massive casino, running regular speaker wire for hundreds of feet would lose all the power.
Yeah, absolutely.
So these use a 70 and 100-volt transformer with an 8-ohm bypass, which pushes the audio at high voltage over huge distances without losing the signal. It's kind of like high-tension power lines for sound.
Precisely. It allows installers to daisy-chain dozens of them together across massive spaces with zero signal degradation.
Okay, I do have to push back on one detail from the spec sheet, though. They specifically brag about an award-winning X-Mount system.
Right.
I mean, it is a wall bracket. Is no slippage over time really an award-worthy feature?
You really have to ground this in the reality of the installation. These speakers weigh 13.6 pounds each.
Okay, fair.
Suspending dozens of them directly over people's heads in a busy transportation terminal requires absolute security.
Yeah, nobody wants a 13-pound box falling on them while they're waiting for a train.
Beyond safety, though, it is about acoustic precision. Over years of constant bass vibrations, standard mounts slowly drift. They sag.
Oh, and that ruins the math we talked about.
Exactly. A mount that allows vertical, horizontal, or ceiling deployment and promises absolutely no micro-adjustments shifting over years of heavy use. That preserves the math.
Because if that speaker tilts even 2 degrees downward over 5 years, that perfect 105-degree DMT coverage is completely ruined.
You got it. The hardware has to be virtually indestructible so the audio can feel invisible.
So what this really boils down to for you, the listener, is two really intertwined feats of engineering.
Yep.
You have this seamless acoustic transition of DMT technology, creating that perfect spatial cone,
Right.
and the rugged IP54-rated anti-slip physical design that locks that cone in place flawlessly for years.
It is pretty incredible when you step back and look at it.
It really is.
Yeah.
So next time you walk through a bustling public concourse and notice the background music sounds impossibly crisp everywhere you go, look up.
You might just see what is doing all the heavy lifting.
How much of our emotional experience in a space is secretly being orchestrated by perfectly angled, invisible acoustic architecture? Something to think about.